So you're at an event and it's almost your turn to say your 30-second pitch and your palms are sweating. You are nervous as all get out because you have absolutely no idea what you're going to say. Or maybe you just left a one-on-one where you were meeting with someone from a networking organization and you were so much of a rambler during that conversation that you fear that you've confused them far more than you've made them excited about working with you. If you feel this way, I understand. I have a button and a t-shirt from that same party, and I'm here to help you with that. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 things that you can do to be a more effective communicator. So if that sounds like something that you need to know more about, please stick around to the end of the video because I want you to be my friend. Come on, sis. Stick around. I'm trying to grow my channel, and if you do, you can help me with my watch hours. And if you go ahead and subscribe because you know you're going to love it here, you're also going to help me in that way as well. So thank you in advance for all that you're going to do. All right, let's get started with this video and the content that I want to share with you today. Very first thing that I think you need to do is be conscious. Be conscious of the things that you are saying. Trying to get your point across can be very difficult, and so you may find that you do ramble and you do struggle with what it is you want to say. You can't hold a thought in your head because you're so busy trying to make sure you get it out that you're not listening to what's going on around you. So if that is a struggle for you, be conscious of that. Start to listen to yourself and start to take note when this is happening and when you find that you begin rambling. What are the circumstances around that? Be conscious. Maybe it's because you're not prepared. So maybe you need to get prepared before you go out to do the networking or to do the meeting or to do the event or whatever it is. Start to do a little bit of soul searching to determine what it is you really want to do so that you're not rambling and just like word vomiting everything up when you get around people. Sorry for the reference. I have this problem. Hello, my name is Andrea and I talk too much. So much so sometimes that I do lose my train of thought. I do end up rambling, and I have found that I do mess up those one-on-ones because I found that I was giving away too much information. I was talking so much. I was giving them so many ideas because I'm so passionate about what I do that I really did feel like they were walking away going, okay, she's weird, you know? And so if you're getting that vibe when you're in the meeting, that is the time for you to take note of that and start to reel yourself in so that you don't overpower the conversation and you don't, stress out the person that you're talking to and get them confused. All right. The next thing that you need to do is be clear. When you are clear, you don't have to give so much information to the point that you have put the person listening on overload. I used to do this in my discovery meetings when people would sit down with me. I would listen to them tell me what their problems were in their business and with their marketing, and then I would proceed to give them all of the potential things they could do to fix the problem. And it just overwhelmed people, and it would also confuse them because they didn't know some of the industry language that I was using, and so it just gave them this analysis by paralysis situation. When I realized that this was happening, I did 2 things. 1, I began to streamline what I would say to the person that I was meeting with. But 2, when I knew there was going to be a possibility that I would ramble, the discovery calls is where I would push people to, and that comes with a fee, but the fee is given back to them once they've booked with me. The reason I did that was because in some instances, sometimes in the getting to know someone process, I will overshare, and that does not benefit me because if I'm going to give them answers in that meeting and not get booked, then I've lost money. So what I decided to do, since I knew myself and I was very conscious of how I behave, I began to charge for my discovery calls, like I said, and that sort of shielded me from giving away too much information during the discovery call. But I also needed to be very clear in what I was saying and not say so much that I was confusing people and you get that blind stare. You know what I'm talking about when you keep going and going. So on that note, I will move on to the next thing, which is my ebook, From Clicks to Clients, Mastering Digital Sales Funnels. And the reason that I'm bringing that up is because when you are conscious, when you begin to really think about how you are communicating with people and you start to notice certain things, there are some actions that you can take. And one of them is to read more and to grow your vocabulary. So reading grows your vocabulary. When you start reading nonfiction books that will help you to communicate better, or will help you in your industry, or help you in your relationships, when you read these types of books, someone has written in a very concise manner the information that you need. So when you're reading that, you're learning new words, you're learning how to put sentences together, you're learning how to be more clear in your own communication. So the reason that I bring up my sales funnel book is because in the sales funnel process, it is necessary for you to do your research and understand the person that you want to put in your funnel, whether it's for business or for personal. Whoever it is you're trying to attract, for whatever reason, you're going to have to do it communicating with them. And so when you are learning about sales funnels and attracting, engaging, and converting your ideal audience, you're learning new vocabulary words. But also, after you've done all that reading, a sales funnel requires you to do some writing, because you're going to have to either write emails to people, you're going to have to text them in some way to communicate with them and add value and nurture that relationship. And so in that writing, you want to use words that condense whatever it is you have to say to make it more palatable, more digestible, right? You don't want 1,000 words to say one thing, right? You want to make it very clear and concise. And so the reason that I think it's a good idea for you to check out my sales funnel book is because not only does it talk to you about how to attract and engage your audience and then nurture them inside your sales funnel, but learning about how to create these funnels, whether it's for business or for personal, you are going to be reading. And you're also going to, once you start practicing, you're going to be practicing the writing to help grow your vocabulary and help you to structure sentences in a more concise way. So if you are interested at all in learning about how sales funnels work, especially in the digital space, I think this ebook is going to be a great opportunity for you to do so. So now let's move right along to our final two things that I think you need to improve and have more effective communication. And the next one is to be concise. This means learning how to organize your thoughts, so that not only are the words you choose very clear, because you've figured out how to sort of streamline a lot of words into a few words that say the same thing, right? But now, to be concise, you're organizing your thoughts so that you can speak those words in a way that is digestible. So you want to be very concise. When I first got an editor for my videos, the first editor I had, one of the things she used to say is, you know, you need to be a little bit more concise. You are a little long-winded. You might be feeling that right now. I hope not, because I'm trying to make it plain. But anyway, being concise is having an organized thought process and being able to put your words and organize your words in a way that you can get your point across in a very streamlined manner. Now, what will help you with this? Active recall actually helps you with this. When you read something, i.e. my sales funnel book, when you read something and then go back and like summarize the book, and do it in a very concise way. Give yourself just like maybe 2 paragraphs. How can you summarize this book in, 2 paragraphs, 2 sentences. How can you summarize this book in 2 sentences? Using words that are very concise, using a very clear and simple readability. How can you summarize the book? Also, if you watch interviews, if you're watching this video and you think that I'm doing a good job, give me a thumbs up. But also, you can watch other experts in your space, watch their videos, watch documentaries to understand the best practices for streamlining your words and making it clear and concise, and therefore more effective in its delivery. All right, now, Also, the next thing that I think you need to do, which is going to come with practice from these other three things, being conscious of what you're doing already, being very clear about the way you speak, summarizing things, making it less words, saying the same thing, and then being very concise in the organization of the way you say things and organization of thoughts so that the clarity is really coming through when you're getting your point across. This last thing is to be confident. And again, it takes practice. So that's why I want you to look at being a little bit more articulate. What does that mean? It means how you pronounce words, finishing the words. I think sometimes in our speech, we get a little bit lazy in how we say the words. I'm from the South, so there are definitely shortcuts to words. And so you have to be very careful to articulate very clearly, and that also helps with effective communication. Next, again, we talked about this earlier, your vocabulary. Learn new words. When you were thinking about saying something and you find that you're using a ton of words to say it, chances are there is a word that will really say the same thing, or maybe a combination of 2 or 3 words that will reduce the 10 words that you're using to actually say it. So building and growing your vocabulary is going to be a very helpful way to be confident and practice some of these other things. And then lastly, you have your intonation. And your intonation is really your ability to manage the highs and lows of the tone in your voice. And inside my program, Project CEO, we talk a lot about managing the volume of your personality. And what that means is really understanding your personality in such a way that you know how to combine your emotional intelligence there and then read a room, respond effectively, when it's time to speak low, when it's time to have a more aggressive tone, when it's time to not speak at all. These are very clear things that are going to help you communicate more effectively. And it all goes around your ability to be confident in your communication style altogether. So that does it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really feel like having effective communication is important when we are going through life in general and just being the best versions of ourselves, being unapologetically us. We have to be conscious of the things that we're doing and saying and how we're saying and doing those things. And that is why effective communication is so important. And I want to add this little bitty bonus. Your communication is also being done by the way you look. The way you carry yourself, your personal style is also speaking a message. It's also telling people who you are and what you're about. Whether you like it or not, it is true. So effective communication is both verbal and nonverbal. And I want you to consider this. Be conscious of your communication. Think about it. Research yourself. Start to take note when you are rambling. Start to take note when you are using way more words than you need in order to get your point across. Take note when you are not being very clear about what it is you are trying to say in the first place. Take note of whether or not your thoughts are organized or you need to think about them before you go out so that you can be confident in everything that you're doing and saying and be effective. All right, that does it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to this point, God bless you. You're a rock star and I love you so much. Thank you, thank you. But now that you're here, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel because it means you really enjoyed what you saw. And if you did, give us a thumbs up because we need that too. And leave a comment because the YouTube algorithm wants to know that you care about what I'm saying. And I'm trying to grow, guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers with those watch hours. So thank you if you stuck around. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.